Alright, welcome back. In this video we're going to look at monthly interest. Okay, so before this we were always looking at the bank was applying a charge every year, so an interest rate every year. Sometimes they apply it every month. So we'll look at this example here and it should explain it. So if you put €3,200 in a savings account with a yearly interest rate of 5%, but the interest is compounded monthly. So compounded monthly means that they just apply an interest rate every month, okay, instead of every year. How much money do you have after 2 years, and how much money do you have after 2 years and 6 months? So careful, it's not that they apply a 5% interest rate every month, but there's a different interest rate for the monthly rate, okay? And if you add all the different interest rates for the monthly rates up, okay, it should be 5% altogether in a year. So I'll show you what I mean. So the first thing we have to do is we have to find the monthly interest rate. And one thing that a lot of people make the mistake of doing, I'm going to say, is not equal to. So they'll say 5% is the yearly interest rate, then surely the monthly is just 5 divided by 12 because there are 12 months in the year, but that's not the case, okay? So that's not right. Never do that because it's incorrect, right? You'll lose a lot of marks for that because they don't like when you don't understand it and you do something like that. So the way to find the monthly interest rate, there's a little trick to it. What we say is, you say 1 plus I, okay, so that's the yearly interest rate, is equal to 1 plus or to the power of 12, alright? Where or is monthly, and I is yearly. So it's that little formula you have to remember, and then you have to solve it for or. So I'll show you how to solve it, but the first thing is you have to be able to remember that in the exam. That's not given anywhere, and you have to be able to come up with it if they ask for a monthly interest rate. Okay, because again, if you do a monthly rate 12 times, that's the same as one yearly rate. So that's what this is saying here, that one yearly rate is equal to a monthly rate to the power of 12 times. So we'll go down. So the way we're going to solve this is we're going to do each side to the power of, can you guys guess what it is to the power of? So it's similar to the question we did in the last video. So it's to the power of 1 over 12 because that'll get rid of the 12 here. Alright, so that means what we're going to get is it's going to be 1 plus I to the power of 1 over 12 is equal to 1 plus or, because the 1 to the power of 1 over 12 here, it'll cancel this 12. Yeah, so we're left with that, and now all you need to do is rearrange it. So you're going to get or is equal to 1 plus I to the power of 1 over 12 minus 1, and that means that or is going to be equal to, say, 1 plus, and then our interest rate in this case is 5%, so it's 0.05 to the power of 1 over 12 minus 1. You're going to stick that into your calculator and you'll find that the monthly interest rate is equal to, so you'll find or is equal to 0.004074. Okay, so what this means is that or is equal to 0.4%. I'm just going to round it up to 0.4. And the way you tell that, so if it's a percent, so to change something, so I'll write it down. So to change from decimal to percent, you multiply by 100. So we just multiply this by 100 and we find that it's now in percent. Alright? And it's the same way if you want to get from percent to decimal, then you divide by 100. So now we have the monthly interest rate, so now we can go about answering the questions. So if you put €3,200 in a savings account with the yearly interest, blah blah blah, how much money do we have after 2 years and 2 years and 6 months? Alright? So the idea is that it should be the exact same as if we just applied a 5% interest rate for every year. So we're going to test that out. So for part 1, it's going to be 2 years. So I'm going to do two calculations. So first I'm going to say that f is equal to p by 1 plus I to the t. In this case, f is going to be equal to 3,200 by 1 plus 0.05 to the power of 2. And that will give us 3,528 euro. So that's how much money we'll have after 2 years. But in this question, they want us to do it using the monthly interest rate. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to say that f is equal to, again, it's going to be p, we say 1 plus or to the power of t, and or is going to be the monthly interest rate instead. So f is equal to, so again, it's 3,200, 1 plus, and you want to put as many decimal places in as possible so you can keep the accuracy. So there's buttons in your calculator that you can store this number in. So you can store the number instead of having to type it out every time. But in this case, I'm just going to write it out, 0.04074. Keep all your accuracy to the power of, so 2 years. How many months are there in 2 years? It's going to be 24 months. It's going to be 2 by 12 because there are 12 months in 1 year. So 24 months in 2 years. And stick that into your calculator. The answer you're going to get is the same. It's 3,528 euro. Okay? So that's just showing that they're the same thing. And so now the second part of the question asks us to get it after 2 years and 6 months. So now we have to use the monthly interest rate. So I will go across for this. And we're going to go in red. So part 2 is 2 years, 6 months. So that's going to be equal to 30 months. Okay, all together. So now we have f is equal to p 1 plus or to the power of t. F is equal to 3,200 by 1 plus 0.0040, is it 474? 074, yeah. Okay, to the power of 30. So does that all make sense? So it's the monthly interest rate, P is our present value, and T is the amount of months. And we find how much money we have in the account after 30 months by putting that into a calculator. We're going to find that the answer is 3615.11 euro. Okay, so that is pretty much all you need to know about monthly interest rates and how to calculate them. So again, I'll just do a quick summary. So sometimes they ask you for a monthly interest rate instead of a yearly interest rate. It's not just the yearly interest rate divided by 12, so be careful about that. You have to start with this formula here. 1 plus I is equal to 1 plus or all to the power of 12. Then you have to do each side to the power of 1 over 12 to find your value for or. So that's a method I think you should definitely try to learn off. So I'll go that here. You should definitely try to learn all of that off, okay? Because it can be really important. And it's really hard to try and come up with that on the spot to try and figure it out. So it is probably better off just to learn it. And then you can get your monthly interest rate. And once you have your monthly interest rate, it's just like any other question. You can just use the numbers you're given, put it into the formula and stick it into your calculator. Just don't forget to put it into months and not into years. Okay, so that's it for this. In the next video, we're going to look at depreciation, which is kind of the opposite of interest. So we will see you then. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you think the videos are helpful, tell your friends about them as well. And you can check out our website, examlearn.ie. It's in the description. You can look at all the other cool things we have on our website. So anyway, we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.